The entire month of December, I have just survived on bread and honey, the worst combination ever. I did not understand at that point of time, but I would always question, like, why am I being questioned? Or at the end, it's because you're a girl. You know, it's because you're a girl, which didn't make a lot of sense. My dreams just shattered. He comes to my room and he goes like, you know what, Radha? You're not going to Bangalore. She did her best. She survived, she fought, she struggled. I don't think I would want her to change one bit. I am so proud of her because if she didn't stay there, we wouldn't have been here. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel, which I am trying to be consistent at this point of time. So thank you so much for taking time and watching all the content that I try to put out. But yeah, today I'm here to share my journey, which most of you guys have asked me multiple times. I am a 23-year-old girl from Coorg and I've been here in Bangalore for 5 years now. My parents, they live back in Coorg and we were born there, we were raised there, and my education was all completed back in Coorg itself. I'm not gonna say it was very different, but we were quite progressive for the rest of the villages. It's a small village called Kote. We were like the first 3 girls to be able to send to a convent school in that area, considerably the Muslim girls, because every other girls were sent to the government school because shadi kara ke bhejna hi hai, to what's the point and stuff like that. We got really good education because my mom was from Kerala and my dad was from Coorg. We used to speak Dhakni back home and my mom, she picked up the language, by the way. So it was a culture difference for sure because mom's side was a little too different. They were a little orthodox when it comes to dressing up and educating their girls and stuff like that, and wherein my dad's side was a little liberal. And my mom would always just put one thing in her head: oh, you're girls, you're supposed to learn that, you're supposed to learn this. It was something that was taught to us from the very beginning of our childhood, that we were constantly reminded of our gender, which didn't make sense at that point of time. It does now. Being 3 girls in the house, we were always like, oh, you're girls. We used to do everything: clean up, help mom, helping my sisters get dressed, they're packing their tiffins, run, because we were living in the middle of the estate, so we had to cross the fields to be able to go get the school bus, and it was fun. Definitely we lived in a patriarchal society, even though we were quite progressive. However, the people around us were all very, very patriarchal and misogynist for that fact. I did not understand at that point of time, but I would always question, like, why am I being questioned? Or at the end, it's because you're a girl. You know, it's because you're a girl, which didn't make a lot of sense because they were all basic survival skills that had to be taught to everyone. And every time anybody would enter, the only question would be like, oh, you have girls, it would be so hard. And why would it be so hard? My father would always been asked a question that, oh my god, you have 3 girls, how are you going to get them married? You'll have to save up a lot of money as a dowry. Like, wow, is it so easy for people to just walk in and say whatever they want to without minding their own business? I was actually a good student and I would study well. Our father was in Dubai for our entire childhood and then he came back. My uncle was the one who took care of us at that point of time. After school is when I decided, I just had this in my head where we were all sitting together, my friends, and we were all like signing with the fancy signatures, S ke saath, you have something going here and there and stuff like that. And when it came to my name, it was just my name. I had written Ridhatharana. It was Radha Tarana, and they were like, don't you think your kids are gonna copy it? I was like, I'm not sure about kids, but I think I want to be able to reach at a point where people know me and I want them to like kind of ask my autograph, and when they do that, I really want to write my name and they're able to read it. I didn't know I was manifesting at that point of time, and I didn't even know what is the kind of mentality I had, that my entire agenda was to get a distinction. So I scored around 89% my 10th, and I was the first girl to be able to take a distinction in the entire village. I was superbly happy because there was still not a big deal, because they're like, oh, what's the point of you scoring anyway? You're gonna end up getting married and having kids. As you've scored a distinction, you can go for science because you're a smart student, which was my plan. I took science. We went to a college called Vidyaniketan in Panampet, a very beautiful college, and oh my god, The math took my life. I'm not good at math at all. And then came physics. I was like, what do I do? I can't take this. Those 2 years were also a roller coaster ride, but I really was insecure about everything. I didn't know I was confident. I didn't participate in a lot of things back in school or in college. I was insecure about my skin color. I was insecure about how I speak. I was insecure about everything. Or like I was just this ball of insecurities that I had to take off in the long run. I would see girls around me and I'd be like, oh my god, they're so pretty. You're not really able to afford a lot of things, you know, like, oh, okay, you're gonna wear fancy clothes, you have a really nice stuff, and I would just try to like either alter my mom's dress and wear them, or somehow change my style, because I was good at styling though. I was good at that. I was good with biology, and that's when I remember my professor introducing genetics. That's when I was like, I think I would like to study this. So I didn't have an idea of wanting to have a profession as a genetic engineer or anything of that sort, but that subject was something that fascinated me big time, and I really wanted to take it forward. And also, I wanted to get out of Coorg. So what I did was, I was like, you know what, I want to study genetics, and that's not available in any colleges that's there in Coorg. When I told this to my mother, they were like, no, you can't go out of here. You just take up zoology or botany or something and study here, or take up commerce or something, but you're not stepping out of this place. I was like, no. I was very, very adamant. They were like, we don't have the money, we'll not be able to send you. It's fine, you don't have to give me money, I will take the loan. They're like, oh, what? Oh, so you taking the loan is nothing but we will be paying and all of that. So I was like, you know what, I will have to go no matter what. So I started doing my research, and then I found one of the colleges here in Bangalore which gave both biotech, biochemistry and genetics together, without separately as a course but combined. So I had convinced my father into signing my loan papers, which was of 3 lakhs. I was super happy that, yay, I'm finally going to Bangalore and things like that. It literally took my mother like 5 seconds to convert his mind. He comes to my room and he goes like, you know what, Radha, you're not going to Bangalore. Study here for 2 years or so. If things are not working out for you, we'll get you married, but you're not going to Bangalore. My dreams just shattered right in front of my eyes. I was working for it so much. I had planned everything so well, getting information on the loan, college, everything, and my father's now not ready to sign the papers, and I was like, what do I do? I was 16 then, and I was just crying and crying and crying every single day. It was month of Ramzan, and I would fast every single day. I would cry every single day. I would pray, and I'd be like, don't give me money. Don't give me anything. Just send me to Bangalore. I'll figure things out. But send me to Bangalore. I am not asking you for anything. I do not want anything. Just send me to Bangalore. And that's exactly what I prayed for 30 days straight. There was nothing that I asked, but I wouldn't speak to my mom or dad because I was so sad, and I would cry every single day because that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to step out and be able to study in a newer city, because I knew if I stayed here, I wouldn't be able to grow. Like last to last days before Eid was approaching, my uncle came up and he was like, you know what, I'll take her responsibility. You sign papers for her. If anything goes wrong, I'll take it up for her. You don't have to worry. I'm still in debt with him, because if it was not for him convincing my father, I don't think it would have been possible. I was trying my best to talk to him as well, to convince him as well, but I was so heartbroken at a point where I had given up. I thought nothing would happen. And I would see uncle, I would meet him, he would see my face, I'd be like, I am not asking for anything. My father, somehow he was convinced. He then signed the papers for 3 lakhs. My education as well as my hostel was taken care. However, my mess fees was not. I came to Bangalore, my father came, dropped me. We just had whatever clothes I could get. And I was so happy because finally I was able to make it here. So when I reached here in Bangalore as well, I loved everything because it was new. It's a city and people are all open-minded. It's from different cultures and places. I slowly started loving myself at that time. I would have people be like, oh my god, we're loving your complexion. I was like, what? You guys love my complexion? Because this is exactly what I've been heard my entire life. Ki haldi laga lo, chandan laga lo, you'll be fair, you'll be fair. And now I have people who are going to be like, oh, I love your complexion, I wish I had it. And slowly is when my confidence started building. Ki, okay, you know what, I am an individual of my own. I can do what I want and I'll be able to do stuff. With loan, it's not like they just give you 3 lakh in your hands. It's not money coming to your hand. It's literally, you get DDs. It's like drafts that you get from the bank that you give it to your college. It was a task for 2 years straight because I had to write letters to my college, and then I had to write letters to the bank. I had to take receipts from the college, Xerox them, send it to the bank, take receipts from the bank, send it to the college. Like, I haven't written letters to anyone so as much as I've written letters to my college and my bank. I had to do that every semester. Semester 1, if it had to be, I had to finish the semester, get the bill, send it to the bank, and then pay it. Semester 2, semester 3, semester 4. So in my head, it was like, go take a loan, they give you the money. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's a lot of procedure because they also have to trust you with the money, right? They also want to know if it's going there. So they write a check where it's written that this goes to the college. So you can't take the money anywhere else. But the problem now here was the mess fee, which was around 2K for veg and 2.5 for non-veg. I couldn't afford veg, forget about non-veg. And my mom was extremely angry. So she was like, you were the one who wanted to go there, and we are financially unstable as well. We don't really have the money for anything. How are we supposed to send you? First 2 months, my uncle and my father somehow would arrange 1,000 and send it to me. But later on, it got harder for them as well. And I remember this 1 month, the entire month of December, I have just survived on bread and honey, the worst combination ever. My friends would sneak some food out and keep it in the hostel as well. It was like an up and down journey, but I don't regret anything one bit. That's when I realized I need to find a job. I really need to find something for myself where I'll be able to at least pay my mess fee. I'm not asking for anything more. 2K, so I'm able to feed myself. One of my seniors told me that, hey, there's something called events. Why don't you try into that? The very first event was with this Emcee. He's extremely kind and very generous. His name is Syed. And I had another Emcee the same day. His name was Chris, who was performing downstairs. We're friends now. We're very close friends now. He was just like, hey, are you a newbie? I said, yes, I am. And he was explaining me about the whole event industry and stuff like that. And he was like, how much are you getting paid? I don't know. My senior told me that I'm getting paid 800. And he was like, I'm sorry, but we're giving you 1,500 or 1,200 or something of that sort. What? Really? Because I'm working for Saturday and Sunday. If I get 1,000 also, keep 500. If I get 1,000 also, I don't have to work for the entire month and rather concentrate on my education completely, and I can pay the mess fee. I was getting 800, but that was not even worst, because the worst feeling was this senior who asked me to join him. He knew exactly the condition I was in and how desperate I was for the money. Oh my god. But I didn't really ask him though. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. The next time when I was hired, I was directly hired, so I got the complete amount. So I was a promoter for approximately 2 months, where I learned about the MCs, the host, because it's like, wow, that's so cool. They have a microphone in hand and everything just revolves around them. It's so cool. I also wanted to switch to MCing was because they were paid higher. The freshers were paid around 2K, professionals were paid around 5 to 10K. So my goal here was to just somehow earn 2K where I can just pay my mess fee. My cousins used to give me their outfits. I used to style them and go. And I couldn't really afford clothes also at that time. And I was just like, oh, I wish I'd be able to afford a lot of clothes. I am grateful now. We had some perfect rule ki you need to either wear black or white t-shirt, you need to have tennis skirt or black or pants and stuff like that. I would go to commercials and get like a shirt for 100 or 200 or something like that, so that it could go with my events and stuff, and do that. After 2 months is when I was somehow remember making a video of me speaking and sending it to an event company like, hey, can you please take me for this event? It was for $1,000 a day, but if you work for 2 days, that's Saturday and Sunday, it's $2,000. It was for Sun Feast of Aditya Birla. I was so nervous that I would hold my microphone and be like, start stuttering and vibrate throughout. So it was definitely a very different experience, but I did not give up because I had to do my job, and they liked my work. And from there, slowly I started collecting pictures and videos of me performing and slowly sending it to events. From 1,000, we slowly moved to 2,000, from 2,000 to 3,000. And the budget of 3,000 went for at least 1 to 2 years straight, okay? I was only hired for 3,000 and nothing more, and I was trying to get out of that, because if you're known for that amount, and that would be the only amount you would get no matter what, and I was trying to push somewhere, okay? And I remember this one guy who hired me, and I go to him and I'm like, hey, I know that the previous MC who cancelled or called off, you were paying her 5K, you're paying me 3 now. Is there any way possible that you can think you'd be able to pay me 5K? And he went on to say that, no, you're just a fresher. If you reach at a position where you're doing good, maybe then I can even pay you 10K, 15K, 50K. It's not a big deal. And it kind of hurt me, because I knew I was doing a really good job, but I was still not getting paid, because I was in that constant place of 3,000, that was so hard for me to move. And later I slowly pushed to 5, definitely. And as I was searching and hunting for these events by myself, like, hey, can you please give me the job, the events started reaching out to me slowly because of my work, and they were like, okay, we'll hire her. In the meantime, I started saving up money. I started paying off my education loan. I stopped taking my education loan at 2 lakh, but the interest, oh my god, the interest there was around 60% interest, 60,000 interest already on it. When I went to properly see the papers and stuff, there was a 40% additional accrued interest, which again pushed to 3 lakhs again. So the interest itself was 1 lakh again. And I was paying off my loan every month. I would at least try to pay off like 5K there. I would try to pay off, I was paying my own fee, which was around 13.5. You split it into 2 semesters. It's 13.5, 13.5. It was like that. And I was also taking care of my sister's education at that point of time. So it was a lot for me to be not able to spend elsewhere, but be very cautious about where I'm spending my money. So I was saving up. I knew where my money would come, where my money would go. I wouldn't be able to go out with my friends because I didn't have the money to spend. And I also felt very guilty even if they wanted to pay for me, because no, I felt bad. And one of them was Tanu. Tanu always knew the amount of efforts I put into work. She would take me out for pani puri and dahi puri dates. Pratiksha as well. And all of my friends, for a fact, knew that I was going through a lot, and they always stood by me no matter what. And I'm very grateful for that, because my college life wouldn't have been easier if it wasn't for them. After I slowly started picking things up on events that, yeah, I'm doing good, I'm able to reach at a point, is when the pandemic struck. So the pandemic struck big time. I was like, what do I do? I moved out of the hostel because it was a lot. You couldn't really enter the hostel in the night, go out and stuff like that. So I moved out with my best friend. And after we finished the college, I moved out in a 1RK. Now 1RK is literally like a small room. I have the washroom right there, the kitchen slab is right there, and my bed right here. Now when I say bed, I just had like the mattress on the floor. And I stayed there for like around 8 months, I guess. And then I moved into another 1 BHK for approximately 3 months. It was crazy, also hard. The rent for a 1RK was 8K. And it was taking a lot from me, because even at that point of time, the maximum I would be able to earn was around 20 to 30K if it's the event base. After the pandemic, I was like, I don't have any other option now. If I have to survive, I need to get a job. And that's when I got into corporates. I got into Concentrics, and I was there for 6 months. Just in my head, I was like, I'm not going to stay here for a long period of time. I have to get out, but we are going to stay here until, you know, you're able to pay your bills and keep up with these things. So I was again getting 22K from the company, and half of it would go just in my rent and half of it would go in my loan as well. I have this thing, if I've taken money from somebody, I have to give it back, and that's the same thing that happened with the loan as well, and I'm glad it happened that way. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm not giving up right now. As I was working 9 to 8 or 9 to 4, whatever that cycle is, it's not my thing at all. I can't do it. It takes so much from me. All of my energy is gone, and I'm so tired, and I realized this is not something I want to do. And in the same year, 2020, is where I started making IGTVs on certain topics that I wanted to pick up, you know, something of my experience, something on positivity and stuff like that. And I realized that I like making videos. I like being in front of the camera. Okay, I think I can do stuff like this. I also realized it's a lot of work, because you're recording, you're editing and everything, because Reels was not into picture at that time, and you only had IGTVs. And I used to get ready for work, and Reels came into point. It was in the month of October, November, which was when I started making reels. I would just put my opinions there, or maybe some stupid reels just as memories. There was nothing of that sort, and I had around 3K followers. I didn't have a tripod, so I would hold my phone, and I saved up money to get an iPhone, and it was on an amazing offer of 27K. So I was like, I'm gonna get this. So it was an SC 2020 edition. I would hold my phone and then record myself because I didn't have a tripod all the time. I would get ready, record a reel, and run because my cab would be waiting for me. During November 20th is when I started seeing changes. But before November, you guys, during the month of October, I'd already told I dropped my resignation letter that I am getting off this company. I'll serve the entire notice period of November, but I am leaving right after that. And nothing had happened on Instagram until then, but I don't know what happened on November 20th is when things started changing. I'm just getting followers, people are just following, sharing. One of my reels have hit 1 million, and I was just like, what's happening? And I still thought it would stop in like a point or something of that sort. I was shook because I had people in my office who'd be like, oh, I saw your reels and that, this and of that sort, and I was just not able to comprehend, because my idea was to be able to hit 4K at the end of 2020, and we were able to at least hit 20K at the end of 2020, and during 2021 Jan midway is when we hit 100K, and I was like, what's happening? But in the meantime, also 2021 Jan is again when I finished paying my loan of 3 lakh. And I was so happy because I remember when I took my loan, my mother's side of family would come every single day and say, hey, you should not allow your daughter to go. You'd be the one who'd be paying, or her husband would be the one who'd be paying, and stuff like that. And I was so proud of myself to be able to do that. I was still figuring out the whole Instagram bit, and I had no job. But I slowly started picking up some events and something. A lot of things changed in 2021. I have you guys, the family kept growing. We are of 475 now. I can't believe that. In the meantime, a lot of things, better things happened with me. Financially, I'm doing much better. I moved into a 2 BHK with a better space, so I'm able to concentrate on my content. I'm just grateful is all I can say. Whenever people ask me what is the one thing that you would like to say to your younger self, I always say that she did her best. She survived, she fought, she struggled. I don't think I would want her to change one bit. I am so proud of her, because if she didn't stay there, if even at a point she thought that she wouldn't be able to do it, we wouldn't have been here. So I don't want to change anything about my younger self. I am so proud of her. I do not take anything lightly. I am so grateful for all of you guys to be able to change my life even slightly. But I'm so happy for you to be here with me in this journey. It just, I don't know. I know I've worked so much to be able to just live the life I want to live, to be able to afford what I want to wear or what to eat, or just live the life I'm looking for without going through a lot. And I'm not yet there, but I'm reaching, and I'm so happy for that. I'm so glad that I didn't give up anywhere, and I'm so glad I didn't take anything for granted, and I'm so glad that I'm grateful for the little things around me, because it just makes me who I am, and I am so grateful for that. I started taking up public speaking workshops. I also started a small thrift business, which is kind of on hold right now because we're still figuring things out. I also started picking up modeling gigs, which I used to previously, but a lot more now, and a lot of MC events. So I still multitask. I am still very particular about where my money comes and where my money goes. I am very scared of the fact that, you know, what if I am in a position again at the same time? I'm ready for that, because I remember my uncle saying that, why are you giving her money? You know, she's the one who wanted to go. So I do not want to be at a position where I have to beg money from anyone, but be able to survive all by myself. And that has just been my ultimate goal. The goal for my sisters to be able to live the life they want and do what they want, while knowing that, you know, when they fall back, I'll hold them. And that's all I've been looking for. But you guys have definitely played a very important role in my life. You guys came as a boon, as angels, and you're extremely kind and extremely humble, and I just can't thank you enough for your existence. I love you all so much. I might have not really covered a lot of things here, and I'm glad I was not emotional, because at this point of time I've moved on from everything. But I'm really happy with everything that has happened, to the little things I accomplish every single day. But if you're still here, thank you so much for listening. I love you all. Mwah. Sayonara. Until next time, this is Radha Tarana signing off.